Good evening and welcome. It's the Monday night edition of the show Sports Tonight. I am Yemi Adebayo. Well, there's a lot to talk about on the show tonight, and we're lined up quite a few interesting issues in the world of sports and news for your viewing pleasure tonight. And we also want you to be a part of everything that we're doing to make the journey a swell one, to make it interesting from start to finish on the show tonight. Well, it's been an eventful weekend. We'll be talking about all the things that happened last week, and of course we will continue with our countdown to the biggest sporting event on the planet, talking about the Olympics. But first, let's relax a little and let's tell you how you can be part of everything that we're doing, how you can get yourself involved. That's it. There you have it. You can get across to us on Facebook. There's Channels iPhone Sports. And on Twitter, our verified handle, it is @channels_sports for your views, your comments, suggestion, and contribution on the show. This is what you need to do. When it gets better, you can always be a part of everything that Channels does. Keep yourself in the loop. You can read all our top stories on www.channelstv.com and also view those top stories on youtube.com/channelsweb. You can go to m.channelstv.com, and if you have your iPad, your iPhone, and your BlackBerry, go to m.channelstv.com and follow the prompts there, and of course view Channels live. And if what you have is your Android and iOS and the Windows, you can download the Channels TV app, all in a bid to get Channels television with you everywhere you go. We are everywhere, you know that by now. But of course, just to make it easy for you to view everything that we do right here, sports is just a tiny fraction of what you have on Channels television. Okay, let's move on the show quickly. This segment, we will be talking about the 2016 Olympics. And of course, you know by now that it is 4 days to go. The countdown continues. 4 days to go. The organizers of the Olympics are sparing nothing to ensure that we have a world-class event. Well, time will tell if they're able to achieve it. But the first news item for you is that work still continues at the Olympic Park. As you can see, everybody putting their hands together to work on this facility to ensure that everything goes on well. Of course, there was a little setback on Saturday, a little incident with some of the facilities at the stadium. But of course, people are working 24 hours to ensure that everything goes well. Well, still talking about the Olympics, it's part of the fears about security. It's part of fears about the Zika virus. Tourists are flocking to Rio de Janeiro's beaches just days before the start of the 2016 Olympics. That's for the biggest sporting event of the year. Well, some athletes decided to withdraw due to the mosquito-borne Zika virus that has been linked to birth defects in newborn babies and possible neurological problems in adults. But holiday makers can be seen sunbathing, and most of them say they're not bothered with what they hear in the news about security and about the virus. Let's listen to some of these tourists, what they're doing, how they're enjoying themselves, and how they are preparing for the showpiece event.
Well, of course we thought about it before we left, and we have friends who are also doctors, but if you think about it rationally and look at the numbers, one can get all sorts of illnesses when you're traveling, but it was on our mind, but we're not especially concerned about it now. We considered it for sure, but it didn't stop us from coming to Brazil.
Well, there are actually, I came from Australia, so in Australia they told us some ways that you can protect yourself against Zika, and to use mosquito sprays and some medicine, so yeah, should be fine. I'm using it and I don't worry about it.
Well, just to add that Brazil health officials are saying the risk of the Zika virus is minimal in Brazil. All right, let's move on. Still talking about the 2016 Rio Olympics. Let's talk about tennis. Arguably Spain's biggest tennis star, Rafael Nadal, the flag bearer of Spain. His participation in the tennis event is doubtful due to injuries. Rafael Nadal is currently in Rio, but of course is monitoring his progress, fitness concerns over the Spaniard, and he will, in a few days' time, decide whether he will be participating in the event. Let's not forget that injuries forced him out of the last Grand Slam of the year. So we'll be monitoring Spain's biggest star, the flag bearer. He was named the flag bearer of Spain in April. So we'll be monitoring to see if he will participate at the event, or will he be part of a host of big names that have pulled out of the Olympics, either due to security fears, either due to injury worries, or, of course, the dreaded Zika virus. Okay, let's talk South Sudan now and talk about 5 athletes that have seen their chance to participate at the Rio Olympics as a sign of hope as they prepare to compete for the refugee Olympic team. These athletes fled the war in Sudan about 10 years ago and were selected from a series of sports trials at the Kakuma refugee camp in Kenya last year. At the news conference in Rio, the athletes hoped their participation at the games will send a positive message to the world, talking about the power of sports.
A good moment for all the refugees, not only people who are participating, because as we all know that we are representing the millions of refugees all over the world. So it is a chance, and it is also, this one, it will show that refugees also, they can do something.
Sometimes we feel so unhappy because now we are seeing our flag here in Brazil, whereby we are not running according under our flag of South Sudan. This gives our leader a message whereby if our country has a peace, or he has no corruption, or there is no tribalism, we can be here in Brazil running under the South Sudanese flag. Maybe 2020 Olympic, we can run our national flag of South Sudan because we are eager to serve our young, talented South Sudanese.
Yeah, talking about the power of sports, eliminating barriers, giving hope. It's all about excitement. Nobody is left out. And as you heard, right there, some of those athletes hoping that their participation will send a message to the politicians at home, and of course, so that everybody would embrace peace and everything will go on smoothly. All right, let's talk about Russia. It hasn't been good for the Russians in the last 1 year. There's been one negative story after another, and it got to the very height when it was revealed that there was state-organized systemic doping. But of course, a reprieve came the way of the Russians when the IOC left the decision of banning Russian athletes to individual federations. But the Russians, led by the sports minister Vitaly Mutko, has revealed that all decisions about the participation of the country's sports people at the Rio Olympics will be made tomorrow. The International Olympic Committee said it will have the final say on which Russian athletes can compete at the games. So, of course, some in-house cleaning going on right there. And, of course, this will be after reviewing all the rulings made by International Sports Federation over the widespread doping allegations in the country. So the Russians are trying to do a little bit of house cleaning. And, of course, we'll see how all of that pans out in the days to come. But, of course, you can't be sure that the Russians would ensure that no athlete goes to Rio to disgrace the Russians. Okay, let's come home now and talk about Nigeria. Talk about, well, one of the hopes of medals at the Rio 2016 Olympics. Some might argue, but of course, there is hope somewhere, somehow, that Nigeria's senior men basketball team, talking about the D Tigers, might, pick something from Rio. But the news is that the 12-man roster is out. But guess what? This man that you're about to see didn't make the squad. We're talking about Portland Trail Blazers forward Al-Farouq Aminu is out of the basketball squad to the Olympics. That's the biggest news, piece of news that hit us, that this star won't be part of that squad. A lot of some people have tried to give their own explanation as to why he didn't make it. But of course, what we can confirm is that he's not injured. So we leave the blanks open. But let me quickly reel out the names of the guys that make the 12-man roster to Rio. Ike Diogu, Chamberlain Oguchi, Josh Agognon, Mike Binije, Ben Uzo, Shane Lawal, Alade Aminu, the brother of Al-Farouq Aminu, Mike Ume, Stan Okoye, Ebi Ere, Ekene Ibekwe, and Andy Ogide. That's Nigeria's 12-man roster right there for you. Okay, this is hoping that Nigeria's D Tigers will go all the way and make us proud. And of course, there won't be a repeat of what happened in 2012 when the Americans used the D Tigers to set all kinds of records at the Olympics. But this time, we hope that it will be our own team making the records. All right, let's still talking about Nigeria's participation at the Olympics. Let's quickly cross over and join the media officer of the Dream Team 6, the under-23 men's football team that will be representing us at the Olympics. Let's join Timi Ebikagboro. Well, Timi, good evening. Nice to have you with us on the show tonight.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
All right, well, talk to us. We've read a lot. We've heard a lot about the Dream Team. But where are you now and what is happening? The two-in-one question, where are you now and what is happening in the camp of the Dream Team?
Well, we're right now in Atlanta, Georgia. We had a training this evening.
Okay.
In another 30 minutes time from now, we had a training this morning. Hopefully, we should be departing for Manaus tomorrow afternoon at about 12:30 through a charter jet. And the players are excited. The players are ready to go, and everybody's doing well.
All right, quickly, let me ask you: do you have any injuries to report? Well, that's the key thing everybody wants to know right now. Is there any injury to worry about?
For now, no injury worries.
Okay. That's good to hear, Timi. Okay, I think I'll have to put you on hold. Just stay right there because we have to go on a break right now, and we'll continue this conversation when we come back from that break. Join us again.